So one of our own, Jojo, she shared a story with me, and the story was about her trip to Japan, where she served alongside of a number of people from Harvest. And it was a vision trip. They were there really to explore, is this what God has for us in the future? Because for the missions committee, part of their vision is that next year, a number of young adults go back to Japan and support the work of communicating the gospel. Well, something pretty powerful happened to Jojo while she was there. And so I've invited her to come up and share her story. Jojo, come on up. Morning.
Good morning.
So my wife, Jenny, had shared a story, and so I had to follow up with you and get some more details on what happened on the missions trip, that one of your jobs was to look after the children, and so there's an incident at lunchtime. Do you want to share with folks? Actually, you have to. You're up here. So can you share with us what happened?
Yes. So during lunch, I was actually a small group leader, so I was with my team. There was about 10 to 12 students. I had about 12 students. We were just eating our bento boxes, and then one of my students' little brother, he was there waiting for his sister to be picked up. And what happened was the brother threw up right next to me. So we were all a bit startled. We spent time cleaning up. I told the adult volunteers. So we're cleaning this up. And I noticed that once he throws up, he continues to cry. And I felt like something more was wrong. So I asked his mother, has he done this before? And my translator helped me tell me that he has allergies to milk. And so...
What was in the bento box?
It was this egg, like a, what was it, masago? With the egg and milk. And it was whipped, tamago.
Oh, it was whipped. Okay.
Oh yes, tamago.
Yeah.
And it was whipped with milk, and his sister gave him a lot of hers.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so he throws up. Anything else?
After he threw up, about 5 minutes after, I started noticing that he forms hives. So he's developing hives. He has redness all over, and it's starting to spread from his neck down to his arms. And as someone who suffers from allergies, I already knew that he was going into anaphylactic shock. So I think, oh no, where's my mom? Because she's a doctor. So I ran to my mom. I try to find her, and then once I find her and she comes back, the kid worsens. And so the hives started to spread all the way down his body, and he was red, he was still crying. And so I was really nervous. But I thought that, okay, I'll let my mom handle that. She's a doctor, she can figure it out. So my mom asked the mother, do you have any Benadryl? Do you have any antihistamines? And she was like, no, because this has never happened before. And they didn't realize the severity.
So did anyone have Benadryl antihistamines there at the camp?
No.
Okay.
So my mom said, go look in your bag, see if you have anything. And so I look in my bag, and usually for me, with my allergies, because they're so severe, I have to carry about 2 to 3 EpiPens. But that day, I realized that I actually happened to bring a child dosage of Benadryl, when I usually don't bring that.
Yeah. Okay, so you've got the Benadryl, and there's the child.
And so I administered the Benadryl. We told the mom that this is going to help his hives and redness go down as he's continuing to cough, and he gets really short of breath. So even though he's a 4-year-old boy, I noticed that when I have my anaphylaxis, I get short of breath and I start coughing. So I kind of saw that in him too. So we give him the Benadryl, and my mom says, he needs to go to the hospital now. The mom was waiting. So the mom had a baby with her, another middle schooler child, and then the son. So they call the father. The father is coming on his way. And my mom said, Jojo, grab the kid. We're going. So I'm like running with this little child, going outside. And the ambulance comes. And the following day, we find out that there was no Benadryl in the ambulance either.
So I'm sure you talked with your mother about this. What were the chances that this could have ended fatally for him?
The chances were very high, considering we were in a very low-key spot, and we were in this smaller town, and so there were not many hospitals nearby. Because of the parents not knowing what to do, it was very high that he didn't have much time.
So I'm sure after you just processed all of this, because in this moment, you were kind of the middleman in this moment. You were the ambulance didn't have the Benadryl, no one at the camp had the Benadryl, you were the only one with the Benadryl, and you were able to give that to him. And so what did that mean for you as you thought about all of this?
I think once he got sent to the hospital, I was very shocked, and I didn't know how to really process it. But the next day, I thought how sometimes when I think of God using me, I think of God using, like, maybe my talents. But in this moment, he used part of my testimony and part of one of the things that I guess has shaped me the most with my food allergies. And so I never thought he would use my disability or something that has really hurt me throughout my life. And I think knowing that God can use even my disabilities and maybe not just the talents, I think stood out to me. Because sometimes I go about life and everything's going smoothly, but then in the back of my mind, I always think how my allergies has shaped me into the person I am today because of going through all this treatment, having to go to the ER probably every year. And I think when I realized that God can even use my deepest pain that I don't really talk about, I think it shaped me because I know that he chose me, even the parts that really hurt.
Amen. Amen. So full transparency, because I had heard the Benadryl story, and so I wanted to follow up and talk with you before we shared with Harvest. I thought it was going to be about the Benadryl. I thought it was all about the Benadryl.
Yeah.
And then you said something that was really important yesterday, was the Benadryl really symbolized all of this pain and this hurt that you experienced growing up, and you had kept asking God, why? And in that moment, when you were able to give this child the medication that you've had to take so much in your life, the why was answered. That he wanted to be a vessel for you at that moment, that he wanted to show his goodness to this child through you at that moment. And I thought that was beautiful. So thank you, Jojo.